Let me fix this a little bit. Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Fabio Palvelli. I'm a designer and every week I share my life on video as well as some tips and tricks on how to be a better designer, visualizer, better person. Since a couple of weeks I started to make videos where you guys ask me questions and I try to answer them at the best of my knowledge. So I will start with today's questions. Hi Fabio, what's the name of your dog that we saw on Instagram? Her name is Pepper and she's the most beautiful dog in the world. Hi! Hi! She was found in the desert. We took her home when she was only a couple of weeks old. Say hi. Hi Fabio, how often do you cut your hair? You need a haircut. Okay, this is not the first time that you tell me this. My wife said the same. Maybe it's about time that I go and get a haircut, huh? I thought this channel was about archivists and design and... Okay, let's just get it over with. Manishma, 1:30. I have an appointment. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I got the haircut. What do you think? You like it? I like it. It kind of makes my head a little bit more like... So, what do you mean be nice to people? You mean to clients? This is something that I repeat over and over in all my videos. If you are nice, you have the chance to impact positively the life of potentially millions of people. I mean, if you really think about it, if you know on average 1,000 people and each single person knows on average another 1,000 people, you have the possibility to reach 1,000,000 people and impact their life in a positive way. We have the responsibility to try and impact the world in a positive way. You see, being positive and being nice to people is ultimately what has helped me to get to where I am. In a way or another, this will translate also in your profession, in what you do, in who you are professionally. Anyway, I hope that this is clear. Do you still teach? Yes and no. At the moment I'm taking some courses where I'm trying to learn a couple of things or two. I'm trying to learn some new tools and some new things about the workflow. That's why I took a little bit of a break from teaching. However, in summer I'll be participating in a workshop from Design Morphine. A very good friend of mine, Mike Pryor, is one of the directors of this organization and they do quite a few cool workshops. I'm going to be teaching the rendering part in one of these workshops. I think it's going to be in Greece in July, somewhere late July. I love teaching. It's a great opportunity to kind of share the knowledge and improve the life of students that, you know, come to you and look at you as a mentor. I don't know. I really think so. How do you get work online? The short answer to this is by having an outstanding portfolio. The only thing that can ensure you to get good gigs online is for you to have an outstanding work. If you do try to get in touch with clients online and you do that actively, you might actually end up working with very bad clients that, you know, see the opportunity because they know that you need the work. To my experience, that has never brought us any good paying leads. On the other end, I know a lot of people that did manage to build very successful businesses by having outstanding work. I cannot stress that enough. I mean, a lot of people think that they do outstanding work, but the reality is that they're far from it. And I would honestly recommend you to pay somebody, a good artist, to look at your work and give you some tips, and for you to be very humble and receive these tips in order for you to understand what you have to do to get better. And the process of getting better can take years. If you don't manage to get work online or good paid work online, there is a very high chance that your work is not good enough. Don't want to offend anybody, but you kind of have to deal with that. Who is the greatest inspiration to you in archivism? His work is very old, but definitely Alex Roman, because I think that Alex Roman, the work that he did with the third and the seventh, kind of changed the understanding of architectural visualization. Till the work of Alex Roman, yeah, we had a couple of offices that were doing very emotional images. Alex Roman changed the way artists look at animations, look at images, and eventually also the way artists talk to clients as well about what an animation should be, if that makes any sense. You know, architects usually they ask you for a fly-through, which is to me a horrible thing to see rendered. When Alex Roman, you know, for the very first time brought cinematography inside of architectural visualization, and all of a sudden a building wasn't a building anymore, but it was an experience. And I think that very often clients fail to understand this, but thanks to the work of that guy, now you have something on which you can base yourself upon and eventually improve also the conversation with your clients, given that you know how to communicate with your clients. Why do offices that charge 4K per image only pay artists 35K a year? This is a very good question, and it's a question that comes up very often when we do lives, when I make a video about the cost of an image and all that kind of stuff. You see, very often, especially people at the very beginning of their career, what they fail to understand is the real cost of keeping a company running. When you work in a company has to pay rent. Do you have any idea how much it costs for the company that you're working in to pay rent? I mean, some offices, especially, you know, I know that this message comes from London, but I believe that renting an office space in London, probably less than 20, 30,000 a month, it doesn't really fly by. I remember that when I was working in an architecture office in London about 11 years ago, 12 years ago, the rent back then for 20 people working was about 20,000 a month. Then there is machines, software. Companies have to calculate a certain amount of money for when they don't have work so that they can keep paying their artists, even though their artists aren't really making any money for them. Usually those periods are used for research and development, and it's up to the office manager to kind of manage that. But these are very important costs that people don't take in account. You know, companies take risks, and these risks, they need to be rewarded also financially. It all goes back to the fact that artists, especially the youngest artists, what they see the price of an image and they say, 4,000 euros, this is, you know, 4,000 euros of earnings. A company might make 4,000 euros with an image, but from those 4,000 euros there is so much that they have to take out that probably at the end the real earnings that it's left, it's probably 1,000 euros, which might still seem like a lot, but you know, given the fact that to build a company takes time, and this money kind of comes as a repayment for all the hard work at the very beginning of founding a company, this is something that people should not underestimate. But I guarantee you that some very good lead artists can get pretty decent pays. Of course, if they know how to negotiate the pay, if they know how to negotiate the position, because of course, you know, you can have a lot of experience, but if you don't let that transpire when you interview with your employer, you might never get that job. Anyway, there are so many variables to this. The biggest mistake that you can do as an artist is to just assume that, you know, the money that comes in is absolute, you know? Those 4,000K that you get from an image is not 4K, is a lot less. I really hope that this is clear. Don't get me wrong, I stand very much on the side of freelancers, but I'm also very big supporter of big companies because I know how difficult it is to create a team and to have a team that is actually working in a proper way and is creating successful projects. It's really not that easy. Okay, last question. How long does it take for you to make one YouTube video? Oof, it depends. I made some YouTube videos in as little as 5 hours, but I've been making some videos for about a couple of months. If you look at the video about how to tell a story in Archiviz, that video took about 2 weeks, 3 weeks in writing the script, researching and, you know, asking for permissions to the artists. It took maybe another couple of weeks of post-production, 3 or 4 days of shooting. If you go and watch that video, you will see that sometimes when I talk, I wear different clothes because I didn't do it on the same day, but it was like maybe 2 weeks apart. Then I had to record audio on a microphone, and then I had to take the audio from a camera, I had to cut it. It was a big mess, and it was a project that I really wanted to do since a very long time, and it stayed in the pipeline for like 6-7 months. I started making it very slowly, a little bit at a time, and over time it took me about 2 months to finishing it. I think I started before Christmas to gather all the information. Yeah, I think end of November, I wanna say. But anyway, it took me 2 months. But on average, a good video, one of those that, you know, gets, say, 4,000 or 5,000 views, like the client's one, it takes about a week to put together. Is, you know, a lot of people think that it takes a lot less because they see it easy, they see it funny. The thing is that I make it look easy and I make it look funny, but it really isn't. It takes a very long time to make. I think this is everything that I have for this week. I am really thankful for all the messages and positive comments that you send me on Facebook, Instagram, even on my Behance. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would appreciate a like, maybe a share, subscribe if you haven't done it already, and hopefully I will see you next week. Alright, I'll see you next week.